YouTube? This is Vargas XX78 with the comic book part of the pickup videos. Like I mentioned, I'm going to talk about the comic books that, much like the other stuff, I've been, I haven't been able to record for the last 2 months and a week maybe. I don't really remember. Lots and lots of stuff to talk about, some really good reading here. So let's get started. This was the first one I want to talk about. I read about this in the Diamond page. It's a webpage I usually check to see what's going to come out each week. And I saw this. I've already been collecting Archie versus Predator, and I really like the concept of that. It seems so far out there to have Archie, deal with the Predator the same way that Archie dealt with the Punisher a number of years back. So when I saw Archie versus Sharknado, I thought, wow, they're really getting carried away with the whole crossover thing. But I love crossovers. I love what-if stories. I love when something meets something totally different and out of its genre. So I picked it up. I picked up Archie versus Sharknado. It's a $5 book, and it's everything you would imagine it is. It's Archie and the Riverdale gang dealing with Sharknado, and it's hilarious. The artwork is Archie artwork, but it's a really good read. I really liked this crossover. So it's a fun read. If you're into crossovers just like I am, might want to give this one a look. I really like the first Sharknado movie. I haven't seen the second, and I haven't seen the third one, but I like the first one just because of how absurdly awesome it is. So yeah, it's a good read. If you like Archie or you like Sharknado or you like both of them, definitely give this one a read because it's actually pretty cool. Like I mentioned, I'm picking Archie versus Predator, which is a crossover that seemed so weird, but actually worked out really well. I picked up this cover because it's the Kelly Jones cover, and I really like Kelly Jones' artwork. But yeah, this is really cool, and of course it ends in Archie versus Predator 4, where things get really crazy, and it has a very weird ending, but it's a weird ending that's actually really cool. So I really dug this crossover. If they ever do Archie versus anything else, I'm gonna pick it up because this and Sharknado crossover were pretty cool. Picked up the Age of Apocalypse from Secret Worlds. I'm sorry. Marvel's doing all these event miniseries where they're revisiting their major plot lines. You got things like they're revisiting Civil War, and they're revisiting Days of Future Past, and House of M, and I really dug the Age of Apocalypse when it came out. It was such a huge change for the X books, when Legion went back in time and killed Xavier accidentally, and unleashed this whole new reality where Apocalypse was the Lord and Master of the world. I really liked that series, and I still liked the sort of sequel that they released. So this is a return to the Age of Apocalypse, but with Apocalypse still alive, Magneto and his X-Men still running around. It's a really good revisit to the Age of Apocalypse. So this is issue 1, and this is issue 2. And I think it's going to be 8 issues long, and each cover is going to interconnect. For example, these two interconnect like so. And they're going to form a massive super cover. I really like that. So yeah, this is the Age of Apocalypse. I really dug the original Age of Apocalypse and all the series that came after that. So I had to pick this one up. Also really dug the Marvel Zombies. Was not a fan of Age of Ultron. It seemed like such an interesting concept, but then the payoff was just so weird and pointless. But I really dig the Marvel Zombies, so when I read that they were going to do a crossover between the Age of Ultron and the Marvel Zombies, I picked this one up. So far it's a really good read. This and the Marvel Zombies monthly is really cool. This is issue 2, where Ultron and his world are going to form an alliance between the zombies, and all of them are going to try to make a push to get out of their respective prisons in Battle World. But really good read. Picked up Amazing Spider-Man issue 19.1, still continuing this Spiral storyline, where all the crime bosses and all these different crime factions are waging a crime war, and Spider-Man and Wraith have to stop it. But this concludes in issue 20.1. This is the variant, and it was a good read. It was so-so. Can't really say much about this. Picked up Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows issue 2 and issue 3. Really am liking this because I'm like many people, I'm a huge fan of the marriage between Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and this shows what would have happened if the marriage had continued, and years in the future, Peter Parker and Mary Jane had a daughter. So I'm loving this series. I really like this series. I've read online what they're going to do with Peter Parker, that they're going to turn him basically into like a Tony Stark figure, where he's going to build up Parker Industries and go global and move into the Baxter building. I like that they're giving Peter Parker, the props for being the genius that he is. But I definitely wish that somehow the marriage sticks. That somehow the marriage will continue, and he's still with Mary Jane, and they don't literally turn him into a globetrotting playboy like Tony Stark. Picked up Batman 42, still continuing the adventures of Gordon as Batman in his Batsuit, and picked up issue 43. In these issues, it's been revealed that Bruce Wayne is alive. Somehow he was able to make it out of that death trap in that cave where he was with the Joker. The common theory online is that somehow he was able to get into that pit or get a sample, or somehow get his hands on that healing juice that the Joker was using. But the after effect is now that Bruce Wayne has no knowledge that he was Batman. All of his training is gone. All of his, his body doesn't know how to be Batman. And that's going to be interesting to see how that works out, because Batman is Batman and Bruce Wayne is just a mask. So what happens when, a person that has all the emotional grief like Bruce Wayne has doesn't have an outlet? So that's probably going to be something interesting that they're going to touch upon. But despite the lack of Bruce Wayne as Batman, I'm still liking the series. Picked up Deadpool Secret Wars 2 and 3. And in this miniseries, Deadpool has a part in the original Secret Wars and is interacting with all these characters. In this issue, for example, he gets to the symbiote's prison first, and he sees that this symbiote can do a whole bunch of things. Somehow Deadpool knows that the thing is the symbiote and not a new costume, but he rejects the suit because he's like, I don't want the suit, but wonders if getting in contact with Deadpool's crazy mind didn't affect the symbiote and drove it crazy, which I guess is the explanation why the symbiote, is the way it is, and when it bonded to Peter Parker, why it went crazy and stuff. But really good series. The follow-up to this one is going to be a Deadpool versus Thanos, so I'm definitely going to pick that one up. Picked up Star Wars 7. They take a break from the main storyline and focus on Obi-Wan and his time in Tatooine, where he's basically there to protect Luke Skywalker, but he's become this recluse, and he doesn't want to deal with anything because he doesn't want to call attention to himself. But by doing so, he lets a lot of bad things happen to people, and he decides that he can't stand for this anymore and makes a stand against these bounty hunters and Jabba's mercenaries. So, really good standing issue. But of course, the best one is still Vader, Darth Vader, issue 7 and issue 8. This series is still amazing. It's still, out of these new Star Wars series, this is my favorite one. I love the artwork by Salvador Larroca. His artwork is amazing. I love the dynamic that they've created between Vader, the rogue archaeologist, and the two kill droids. Just a great series, and I really dig this one a lot. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Picked up Secret Wars 4 and 5, where it's revealed that Doom is not as all-powerful as it's led to believe. Somehow he absorbed the power of the Beyonders. So when Reed Richards and the Cabal make an appearance, Doctor Strange saves him because Doom is upset and he wants to kill them. And Doctor Strange says, like, I know why you're afraid of Reed Richards, because somehow he'll find a way to stop you. And in this issue, Doctor Doom kills Doctor Strange. So Doctor Doom visits the Molecule Man, and they have a talk about everything that's transpired. So this is building up to be a good thing. I don't know how they're going to wrap everything up between the miniseries and this. The miniseries still have a whole bunch of issues to go. This one is issue 5 of 8, so I think they're going to delay the conclusion of Secret Wars. Right now, what's up in the air is what's going to happen with Reed Richards, Susan Richards, and Doctor Doom, as well as Franklin and Valeria. Because the only members of the Fantastic Four that have made appearances in covers or in solicitations is Ben Grimm and the Torch. So I'm looking forward to see how this plays out. And again, since I'm a huge mark for what-if stories and alternate realities, this is right up my alley. So I'm digging Secret Wars a lot more than I'm, the other miniseries that came out. Picked up Simpsons Comics 221, which is still consistently delivering great and funny issues. This is Orange is the New Black spoof. And this is Simpsons Comics 222, where Homer and Ralph form like a bizarre relationship. Which is funny that those two characters haven't actually interacted more, because they're kind of similar. Only Ralph's dangerously a bit more innocent. This is Superman issue 41 and 42, which of course deals with the fallout of Lois Lane outing Superman. So now the whole world knows that, Clark Kent's Superman, and they're traveling the world, traveling the different parts of the country, and there's this villain that's after Clark, and he's somehow making Clark super flare and absorbing his powers. Something weird's going on here, but I like the artwork. Picked up Justice League issue 42, which is part 2 of the Darkseid War. Loving the artwork, loving the storyline. Looking forward to issue 43, because some big things are going to happen there. Picked up Marvel Zombies issue 2, which I really like this series, much like the Age of Ultron. I really like the Marvel Zombies. The concept that, even though for a while it seemed like Marvel was over-publishing the Marvel Zombies, it's good to see them back, and I do wonder what they're going to do with the Marvel Zombies after Battleworld. If they're going to just disappear, or if they're still going to be part of the universe somehow. Picked up Old Man Logan 2 and Old Man Logan 3. And in this miniseries, you see Logan visiting different worlds in Battleworld. He visits the Age of Apocalypse. He visits the Armor Wars universe. And by the end of this issue, he visits the Marvel Zombies. So it's already been announced that Old Man Logan is going to stick around. Him and the Maestro are going to be part of the new Marvel universe. I honestly would prefer the original 616 Wolverine to somehow come back. But I'm going to get my Wolverine any way I can. So I'm looking forward to Old Man Logan being part of the new Marvel universe. Even though this Old Man Logan doesn't have the same sharpness as the one in the original story. But I'll take Wolverine in the Marvel universe any way I can. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to X-23 being the new Wolverine. That's going to be awesome. Picked up Years of Future Past 2. Years of Future Past 3. And Years of Future Past 4. So, of course, this is a tie-in to the Days of Future Past storyline in Battleworld. Like that storyline. Surprisingly, didn't do anything with the Phoenix, but I really like this, and it's building up to be a really interesting story, even though it is very bleak. And the future of the mutants seems even more bleaker but when the Marvel Universe comes back. But it's still pretty cool. Picked up Uncanny X-Men issue 35. I don't know what's gonna happen with the X-Men, honestly, but I'm gonna stick with it as much as I can. Picked up Wonder Woman 41 and Wonder Woman 42. Still gonna stick with the series. It's still a good series. I've read online that a lot of people hate what the Finches are doing with Wonder Woman, but I like it. It's definitely not as good as the last run, but I still definitely like what they're doing here. So I'm gonna stick with Wonder Woman. Surprising that I read online that this is gonna end, but Witchblade. This is Witchblade 183. Read online that Witchblade is gonna end with issue 184. So this baby's only got 2 more issues. Out of the 90s, in the 90s, I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was this bad girl craze where there was this whole bunch of girl superheroes, but they were like bad girls because they wore very little clothing. And Witchblade was the only one that survived that trend. And the character has gone through a lot. She got pregnant, she had a daughter, she lost a daughter. She moved out of New York. Now I don't know what they're going to do with Witchblade. I was on the verge, honestly, whether or not to stick with the book, so the cancellation works out pretty well. They'll conclude Witchblade. The series will be done, so that will be my wrap-up with the series. But at the same time, I've been following the character so long, it is kind of sad to know that Witchblade is going to disappear. You know, it's a character that went through so much, some mediocre runs, but some really, really good runs, and it is kind of sad to see that they're gonna stop producing Witchblade. But yeah, that's 2 more issues to go, and picked up a bunch of the Mega Man Sonic crossovers. The first one was really cool. I really liked it. This one has become even more epic. This is issue part 4, which is Mega Man issue 50. And this is part 5, Sonic Universe. Part 6, Sonic Boom. Part 7, this is part of an interconnecting 12-part thing, but this is part 8 in Mega Man. This is part 9. And this is where things really got cool. This is part 10. And the gist of this is that Sigma, the evil robot from Mega Man X, somehow has figured out that there are other universes, and he hatches this plan to absorb the energy of all these universes and become even more powerful. So Mega Man and Sonic are dealing with that, but at the same time they travel to all these different universes in the Capcom and Sega multiverse. So you have Okami, you have Street Fighter, you have Skies of Arcadia, you have Alex Kidd, you have Billy Hatcher, you have Nights into Dream, you have Ghost and Goblins. You know, all these different worlds from both Capcom and Sega taking the fight to Sigma, and it's amazing. It's so cool. I'm honestly surprised that Archie Comics was able to get the rights to Street Fighter, or have them borrowed, because I think IDW has the rights. So it's weird to see this happening, but it's still so freaking cool to see, you know, all these different Sega and Capcom universes interact between each other, and I'm looking forward to the conclusion. This is issue 11, which is the Sonic the Hedgehog 275th issue. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this whole thing ends. Great crossover. The artwork is hit or miss. It has some moments. Well, there are series that the artwork is better than others, so the artwork is hit or miss, but the storyline is pretty cool, just in a crossover sense. So really looking forward to seeing how this whole thing ends. Also, picked up 2 random issues. I went with my wife and my daughter to an anime comic book expo. It was very small, didn't really pick up anything except these 2 books. Picked up Oh My Goddess, The Queen of Vengeance. This is, I thought it was a single issue, because it says Oh My Goddess special. I like the Oh My Goddess anime, it was super cheap, so I picked it up. And I honestly don't remember if I own this one already. I know I have Vampirella Witchblade, both of them. The Witchblade Vampirella and the Vampirella Witchblade. But I'm not sure if I own the Magdalena Vampirella crossover. I read through it and it doesn't seem familiar, but I picked it up. I like the cover. The cover is pretty cool. So yeah, Vampirella's, I know, is older than the Bad Girl craze that happened in the 90s, but Witchblade and Vampirella are the only two that are still running. Red Sonja is another character that tried to, you know, bring back, but yeah, this is from Top Cow, and I picked it up because the cover looked pretty cool. And Vampirella is one of those characters that I know about and I haven't really catched up on, because she's had so many reboots and relaunches that just seem like something really hard to latch into. But yeah, so yeah, that was the comic book pickup video. Lots and lots of stuff, like I said, to talk about. Like always, I like to make the standout recommendations. If you're a fan of Sonic, Mega Man, Capcom, Sega, Street Fighter, or any of the franchises, definitely pick this one up. This crossover has really shown that people love the characters of Mega Man and Sonic, which makes it really sad to see the current state of video gaming that these two characters have had. But as long as they keep producing quality comic books like this, again, the artwork is hit or miss, but the story is pretty awesome. So I recommend this. This is a 12-issue crossover event with 2 special one-shots that I didn't get. So I definitely recommend that. And the other recommendation I can give you, for my personal tastes, would be the revisit of the Marvel Zombies. And Marvel Zombies, and where is it? Oh, and Vader. Vader, yes, Vader. Definitely support Vader. It's an amazing book, and they're gonna do something really cool with Vader and Star Wars, where it's a crossover event called Vader Down, where Darth Vader finds himself behind enemy lines. Enemy lines for him would be the Rebel Alliance. So the Rebel Alliance is like, we gotta take this opportunity to take down the Empire's biggest gun, which is Vader. So they send everyone that they can to take out just Vader. So that promises to be really cool. So yeah, stick to Star Wars if you like that. So again, that was the comic book pickup video. Some great crossover events, which I'm a huge sucker for. I wish there would be more crossover movies, more crossover comic books, more crossover video games. I'm a sucker for all those crossover events. But like always, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, thanking you and signing out.